My name is Yaisha Sanders, and this is my persuasive speech, and this is my audience member. How many of you have heard of sex trafficking? I'm quite sure a lot of you have, but something you probably did not know is the great number of women, children, and men who are sex trafficked. According to World Pop, it is currently estimated that 199,000 incidents of human trafficking occur within just the United States every year. Today I'm going to discuss what exactly is sex trafficking, how big it has become, and the things that are being done to stop it. Sex trafficking is a huge problem all across the world. According to the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000, it is defined as the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting of a person for the purpose of a sexual act. Sex trafficking is a modern-day form of slavery. It follows patterns, but every sex trafficking situation is different. It can happen to anyone. However, some are more vulnerable than others. According to Polaris Project, the significant risk factors include people who have just moved to a new area, substance use, mental health concerns, and of course, runaways or homeless youth. Traffickers often find victims through social media, neighborhoods, clubs, and schools. Traffickers usually see their victims' vulnerability and use it to create dependency. As stated by Shared Hope, they lure their victims through the promises of protection, adventure, shelter, opportunity, and the main thing, love. Then, after the victim is completely dependent on them, traffickers use violence, fear, threats, and intimidation to continue to control the victim. The number of sex trafficking rates have increased over the years and continues to grow. The common age a child enters sex trafficking is 14 to 16. On the reports of Statista, between 2008 and 2019, the number of human trafficking victims went from 30,961,000 to 105,787. However, the numbers is thought to be way greater as trafficking is done in such secrecy. It is nearly impossible to measure it entirely and thoroughly. These numbers are likely only a fraction of the actual problem. It is estimated that almost 200,000 incidents occur in the U.S. every year. The most common location of sex trafficking within the U.S. is the massage and spa business. California has had the highest human trafficking rates. They had 1,507 cases, and of those cases, 1,118 were sex trafficking. With numbers being this high, a lot of you may ask what is being done to stop this crime. Overall, government intervention varies across the world. According to the Muse, some countries are creating policies that work for their culture and people. Other countries are lagging behind with no counter-trafficking laws and little light shed on the issue. However, there are some standards that are international. But those efforts are challenging because there is no way to address the difference in sex trafficking across the world. In 2000, the United States authorized the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. It was the first federal law to address sex trafficking and labor trafficking in the U.S. This act focused on the prevention and protection for trafficking survivors and the prosecution for traffickers. The TVPA was reauthorized in 2003, 2005, and 2008, and there were positive changes each time. So overall, I have discussed what exactly sex trafficking is, how big it has become, and the things that are being done to stop it. Sex trafficking is a modern-day form of slavery and involves not only women and children, but men as well. It is a huge issue all over the world, and the numbers are constantly rising. There are things being done to stop it, like certain countries passing acts and laws against trafficking. However, in my opinion, there is plenty more that needs to be done or could be done. There is still a lot of victims out there who need help and are afraid to speak up. There are plenty ways you and I can help end trafficking. We can spread the word, stay informed, and report any suspicious activity we may see. Now I'm going to show a video talking about sex trafficking.
Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar industry for organized crime. When we first started, human trafficking was third in revenue earnings. Number 2 was weapons, number 1 was drugs. It has already emerged to number 2 in revenue earnings, and it's soon to eclipse number 1, drugs. Why? Because drugs you can sell once and weapons a few times, but humans you can sell over and over and over again.
And that's my speech.